No, I'm not in France. We are in Surrey this morning, back at work. And what I am here to do today is install this outdoor UniFi Wi-Fi access point. We've installed loads of these. I like them because they're quite small, discreet, easy to hide, but also they give really good signal for the size of unit that it is. So we're going to be installing one of these outside in the outdoor kitchen barbecue area, because even though there was cable provisions, there was never any hardware installed into this area. And that is so that when the clients are sitting outside enjoying the outdoor area, that they can get connectivity. Because I feel that one thing that's overlooked quite a lot, especially in homes that are being developed, is the Wi-Fi signal outside, which is really important for people wanting to work from home on their laptops. So that's what we're going to do today, is install this outside so we get connectivity outside. No, this is not the south of France. We are back in Surrey, and today we are going to be installing this outdoor unified Wi-Fi access point in the outdoor kitchen area, so that when the customers are sitting outside, they can get connectivity. Now, in this particular area, and in a lot of areas that we work, the 4G and 5G signal is just not good enough for people to be able to work from home. Also, what they're having to do is, because the Sonos amps are inside the house and there's no Wi-Fi connectivity outside, they're having to leave the phone that controls the music inside or nearby the house, which is not ideal if you want to change the playlist or music. So we're going to install this outdoor Wi-Fi access point that's going to serve this area and the pool area, which means that they'll have connectivity for laptops for working from home, and also be able to play music from here without having to go back inside. So on the topic of outdoor Wi-Fi, the amount of times we've turned up to a property that's been built, finished, developed, and there's been no provisions for outdoor connectivity. If you've got the opportunity to do it from design or build stage, get the infrastructure in right, get the ducts in, get the outdoor switches. And over the last year, we've done quite a few sites that are, over 6-7 acres, and we've made all the provisions, put them in the CCTV post just so that somebody can walk around their site and have connectivity. Is such a massive part of the modern lifestyle, is to be able to work from outside on your laptop and have Wi-Fi signal throughout the property, especially in those areas where you don't have a good 4G and 5G signal. The last thing you want to do is build a beautiful home like this, and then you're sitting outside and you don't have a phone signal and you've got no Wi-Fi. So do not forget to make provisions for your outdoor Wi-Fi, especially when you get the opportunity to do it from the build stage. What I'm going to do first is try and trace where these cables got back to, because they're not numbered, and also I'm not sure if there's I know that there's a rack in the loft, but I don't know if there's another network point or rack point anyway. So I'm just going to do a bit of investigation and find out where these are going to, so then I can then send PoE down one of them. I'll probably detach this and pull one cable down there and see if I can mount the access point down here, which is actually a perfect position because it's hidden, but it serves here, which was the main area, and then will also serve out to there as well. So my toner, now that this is on, battery's low, that's great, but this is now sending a tone down that cable. So hopefully when I find the other end of it, it will give me that tone, and then I'll be able to pick out which cable that is, send PoE down, pull the cable down, and install the access point down there, in theory. It was only a matter of time before this died on me. This has been on low battery for about 4 weeks, and you just keep doing it, thinking that the battery's not going to die, and it died on me. The worst thing about it is I plugged it in here, then I had to walk all the way around the property, all the way around the front, climb up above the pool plant room into a little loft void where I think I found the cables. So I was in this small enclosed space trying to find out where the cables was, testing for a tone, and absolutely nothing. And I was thinking, oh God, I hope the battery hasn't died, and it did. But the good thing about Trend Networks is, on my network tester, it has an option to send a tone down as well. So I'm going to use this because there's no low battery on here. I'm also getting a much stronger tone than I was getting from that. I have got spare batteries, but I just need to go and find it and change the battery and stop being lazy. So I'll do that after, but hopefully now I'll be able to find my cable. So I'm in the loft area where the network switch is and all the data points terminate. We didn't install this rack, but what happened is all the ports that were installed around the house, they've been pre-populated into the switch. So I've had to unplug each connection one at a time and then test each port to see whether I was going to get my my feed, which I've found, so I know that port 21 over here is now going out to the port area. So I'm going to feed PoE from the PoE switch here, which is going to give me data and power for that access point. And then all I need to do is the connections down at the port area. But I was trying to avoid coming up here just because I didn't want to climb through the house, take down the loft ladder, the customers on the call. But I felt in the end that this was the best way to do it. I was trying to access it through the pool plant room loft hatch area and then do a connection there, but I just figured that in the end this was the best way to do it, which it is. So I've got direct connection now. This is the front of the property, and this is the little pool room, plant room, boiler room. There is actually a pool plant room that backs onto this boiler room area, and there was a loft hatch there. Loft hatch, you can call it some kind of hatch, which wasn't easy to navigate through, but I actually found the cables. They have to go through an outside kitchen, outside toilet, and then in through here and then through the house. But because I was involved in the original build of the house, I remember my way around the house a little bit logistically, because we had to take some camera cables out that way. So there is actually data here, which what I was going to do is find the cable, tone it, cut it, connect it, put a network switch here. But then I decided that the best thing to do is to just go up into the loft and do it so it's got direct connection from the PoE switch close to the router. I was trying to avoid going through the house because I didn't want to disturb the customer, but I feel that this is the best way to do it. So that's where I was when I was toning around for that cable, and then found out that the other end died, which was a nuisance because then I had to climb all the way down and walk all the way back round. So I've still got my toner connected to that cable, which is the one that I want. And then I can see if down here, if I put it on that cable, I don't know if you can see that there. Let's go a bit closer. I know it's that cable there. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna disconnect that from there and hopefully be able to pull that back through, so I've got a little bit more slack to play with to then fit the access point there. So I've taken the cable out, managed to put it down the conduit, and then there's a little inspection elbow which I've had to separate my cable because obviously it's now going in a different direction to these cables up here, because I want to try and keep that contained, albeit that's not the best connection. It doesn't actually fit onto that inspection elbow. So what I've done is I've just drilled a little hole in the inspection cover just to keep it as tight as we can, and I'll probably either put amalgamating tape on it just to protect the outer sheathing so that it's kind of weatherproof, and then bring the cable up into the access point. And I've had to separate it because obviously now they're going in different directions, but I still want to keep it contained because it's not external cable and it will over time just oxidize and degrade. So even though we didn't do the original install, I still want to try and keep everything tight and make sure that water doesn't get into those connections, because once we've touched it, we're then kind of liable for anything that goes on in and behind here. So I think that might come out quite well after I've put some tape on it. Right, so before I box this up, I'm going to test this cable. So I've just crimped it, put an RJ45, mounted the bracket on. I'll show you that bit in a minute after I've tidied it up. And then I'm going to take my tester to the loft, test the cable, because the last thing I want to do is put the access point on, connect it all up, and then find out that the terminations in the rack side, which I didn't do originally, are not correct. So I'm sure they'll be fine, but just to double check, I'm just going to take my tester up there and just test the network cable's good. Once that's all right, I'll plug it into the network switch and then we should be good to go. So I made a mistake. I should have tested that cable before I did all the rigmarole. I toned it out, so I found the cable, but I just assumed that all 8 pins were going to be working. The brown pair wasn't working, and there was damaged cable between here and that loft access, that little hatch access there, because I tried to cut and connect onto it there, and the damage goes from there to here. Anyway, I've pushed that in and blanked that off because that's no longer available, that cable. The cable that I've now utilized, which I have tested, I've blanked off as well. There's also a spare data there in case they ever want to use that for anything in the future. But I've put external grade cable, which now goes through the elbow, and I've taped up that joint, so that's more secure and better than it was before. And then we've got some external grade cable that comes up into the access point, which we have now tested the cable. So from here direct all the way up to the switch up in the loft, we've got a solid connection now. And now I'm going to put the access point on there, push this bench back, and that should be that. Now we've got full strength all the way over here. I've just done a speed test over here. I was getting, well, I wasn't getting any connectivity over here. Now I'm getting full bars and about 300 meg all over this area here. So job's a good one, and it's hidden as well, which is the main thing. So now I just got to tidy up and get out of here.